Serverless is one of the most hyped and probably most misunderstood paradigms in cloud computing. I'm going to tell you why in today's video, so join me. In 2026, this is the year I'm recording this video, AWS Lambda, Azure Functions, and Google Cloud are pretty mature, battle-tested options for serverless, but sometimes they are not always the right choice. Here's the decision framework that I would actually use to decide if to go serverless or not. So the first question is, when do you go serverless? If you have event-driven workloads, if your function runs in response to an event, probably a file upload, a webhook, a message that is in a queue, serverless is almost always the right choice. The good reason is this: you pay only when it runs and you don't need to manage a server that sits idle 99% of the time. If you also have variable and unpredictable traffic, that is, if your traffic spikes unpredictably, serverless scales automatically with no pre-provisioning needed on your side. You don't pay for the capacity that you are not using essentially. The other reason is if you have short-lived tasks, functions that complete, say, in under a few minutes, data transformations, notification dispatch, API integrations, they are a natural fit for serverless. Now the question, when should I not go serverless? The big first one is if you have long-running processes. So cold start and latency would be something that would eat you hard. And if your function needs probably more than 15 minutes to run, Lambda as that element, AWS Lambda serverless will probably not be the right fit for you in that case. You should use containers or long-running workers instead. There's even the concept of Azure Durable Functions, which sort of solve that problem. And if you have latency-sensitive workloads, so cold starts, for example, add hundreds of milliseconds to your request response time. So if you're building a real-time API that needs less than 100 milliseconds response times, serverless will hurt you real bad. Also, if you have high volume, predictable, mark the words, predictable traffic at scale, the economics flip higher on your side. If you're running millions of invocations per day at a consistent rate, running containers on managed compute will often cost significantly less than paying per invocation. And also, if you have complex stateful workflows, serverless functions are designed to be stateless, okay? If you need complex, long-running state management, you're fighting the paradigm in serverless right here. So, the honest answer is that most production systems will use both serverless for event-driven edges and containers for the stateful core of your solutions. What you should do right now is you should know the trade-offs, pick the right tool for the right job, and get rolling. Reply DevOps, and I'm going to send you a DevOps roadmap where I cover cloud architecture decisions like this in proper details.